Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic host, Bachelor Nation News. We have a video where Mykenna Dorn, of course, from Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelor fame, was on the She's All Batch podcast. Trigger warning, we will talk about some sensitive topics around mental health, including suicide. So just a trigger warning there. If anyone is not in the emotional state for that type of video, you can go watch me talk about Logan stealing the Declaration of Independence. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, go watch the video. Maybe it will. Follow me on Instagram, @DNeals. Thank you all to everyone who's been following me over there. It's just unbelievable. And also, if you didn't get my newsletter today, there'll be a link in the description, and you can sign up for my newsletter. It takes literally 2 seconds. I'll show you how it's done, guys. You just do this. You go to, here's my Instagram, right? You hit the link tree right there, hit this button, and then all the tabs are there. Newsletter, and then boom. I don't want your personal information. Just tell me a name. Make up your name. Doesn't matter. Put in your email address, and then you'll be a part of the newsletter. Not too shabby, eh, folks? And also, you can go buy tickets for my stand-up show this Saturday at the at the Fourth Wall Cafe in East Hollywood. That is 8 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be a heat wave in LA, so come to the show and cool off. All right, so we're going to get into it. Here's what Mykenna said before. I'll read what Mykenna said before I play her audio. She said, "Thank you, everyone, for the kind messages about the podcast episode already. It wasn't easy to talk about some of the situations, especially when it comes to my mental health. But I felt like it was so important to speak up. I truly hope there's steps taken moving forward to help every contestant the moment they leave filming so they don't have to go through what I and many others have post-show. Helping just to silence us is not what we deserve." And of course, they are silenced in a way. You know, I wanted to talk to Michael A. Michael A. Want to interview him, and I have to email the company, the Bachelor producers, to see if I'm allowed to talk to him because they're under these contracts. So a lot of times they come out of the show and they're not allowed to even talk publicly about their experience. And you might say, well, why do they need to talk publicly? Well, they were judged publicly. They should be able to talk publicly. That's how it should be able to work. But that's just not the case. So we know people like Logan, who is doing a lot better, but he was having a rough time there, like most people do. Most people struggle with mental health after being on the show. Not everyone recovers the same way. Not everyone copes the same way, just like life. So we're going to get into this story right now. If you want to support our community, every day we've got a different teacher we donate to. And today's teacher is Mrs. Broadwell's classroom. She's a kindergarten teacher, I believe in Texas, if I have that right. So you can just add any of these things to your cart, and they'll get sent to her. It provides her address, and it's all anonymous there, so you can leave a nice note. And thanks in advance for everyone that's been supporting all of the teachers this whole entire month. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to play what Mykenna had to say. If you don't remember, she was on Bachelor in Paradise, but she came onto the show late. She was like the last one on the beach. She actually had to stay in her hotel room for 14 days, which, by the way, is in some form psychological manipulation. You know what I mean? Like, they should have a handler. This is what they should do. They should have a handler take them on like tours of cenotes. I mean, they're in Mexico and they're stuck in a hotel room and they're treated like livestock. That's what they're treated like. Stay there. Like, this is how it works in film. If I'm on a TV show, I'll go to a honey wagon, which is a trailer, and I'll hang out in the trailer so the production assistant knows I'm there and they'll come and get me. Maybe I'll be in the trailer for 3 hours, but 14 days? This is ridiculous. Are they getting paid? Yes, they are getting paid, but it's not about the money. It's about what is this doing to them. By the time she shows up onto the beach, she's already unraveled. She shows up to the beach. Everyone's kissing everybody. They're, doing, all these, different moves under the palapa. And she's like, what the hell am I doing here? So here's her story and what she had to say about it. And of course, the full interview is fantastic. It's on She's All Batch podcast, wherever you get your podcast. So we're just going to play this clip. But of course, go support the creators over there, our friends Stephanie and Jackie at She's All Batch.
Couple days turned into a week, and then I remember I hit a breaking point and I had someone check on me, and I literally just like bawled in their eyes, like in their arms, and I was just like, I can't be here anymore. Like I literally can't stare at these walls. I can't have someone come in and say it's tomorrow and it's not tomorrow. Like, What am I doing here? Because I know time is ticking. Like, I don't know the exact date, but I know I've been in here for like 14 days. Like, what is happening? And
you think they were setting you up to fail?
Oh, 100%. Because they needed someone to come in and to fill, like to finish storylines, right? That's unfortunate, but that's like the truth of what they need to do. And I just wish they didn't, like, I told them, don't waste my time. And that to me was like really frustrating because I was like not going to come. And then like they bring me out just to like, and it's not like I'm saying that like I was worthy of, you know, more love than anyone else on the beach. Cause like, I think timing is everything. And like, obviously my guy was not there, but it was just like mentally, I was like, why would they do that? Like, I just didn't understand that.
So Mike Fleiss recently tweeted that ratings are not as important in regards to the Nate drama. And you wrote back.
I don't.
So Nate said ratings are not important regarding Nate drama. Chris Randone says, LOL, you had a former contestant on the brink of suicide, not once but twice, and didn't do shit. Luckily, that person had some people actually care. Why wasn't there help? Because that person wasn't a part of Bachelor Nation royalty. Don't tell me there are more important things than ratings. And then Mykenna says, they set me up with a therapist in 2021 after I said on an IG Q&A that I went through the darkest year of my life following The Bachelor. I truly don't think they did this for my mental health because they treated me poorly months later on BIP. Ratings will always be everything for them.
No, but I don't watch the show. I don't know, but that's exactly Nate drama that's going on.
Yeah, it is though.
Okay. So I don't know the whole context about it, but like saying like the show it goes on, the drama doesn't mean ratings. It's just come on. Like, it's just like the show does go off ratings, right? And like what they can do to make.
Of course. Yeah. And I mean,
so it's just like, I don't know the exact with the Snake thing, but I did see, I can't think of his name. Who did the first reply to this?
Oh, Chris Randone, right?
And
do you know who he's referring to?
No, I don't exactly.
His was very serious, a serious allegation as well.
I'm trying to level the audio here. Her audio is like at a 2 out of 10 and they're at an 8 out of 10. So I'm constantly just trying to level this. So apologies.
It's really scary to hear these things about the show. Yeah.
Honestly, I think the hardest thing, and I think the way I replied was just like the fact that they were reached out to me a year later after I was going through like a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to hear that, you know?
Yeah.
Breaking down.
Absolutely.
It's almost like they were reaching out to like to shut you up, like as opposed to like actually, oh, we didn't know you were going through this. Let us help you. It was like, well, you were publicly saying that you're going through a dark time because of us, so we need to quiet you.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part is like I've been very vocal about like mental health on my Instagram. I'm getting choked up. Sorry.
It's okay.
That's okay.
All right, while she catches her composure here, I'll just say this. My view as an outsider is that the show probably doesn't have sinister motivations. It's collateral damage. They're trying to get the best ratings possible. They used Mykenna as like a safety. She was like the relief pitcher that didn't go into the game until the very end. They had to have people there in case these other relationships didn't work out. And then they were like, all right, we'll throw her in there, but like it's not going to work out well. So the show, in my theory, is that it's a lot of moving parts. It's producers and associate producers and interns and people that are all trying to make a name for themselves. And they're not worried about the damage it's done to Mykenna because they're already moving on to the next thing. It's Bachelor in Paradise that's next. Then it's Bachelor. Then it's the next Bachelorette. So they don't stop to think about these other contestants. And that's kind of the tragedy where you could have a small team, 3, 4, 5 therapists on your payroll that regularly check in on past contestants. And if the contestants are busy and they don't want to take the phone call, fine, they don't take the phone call, but at least reach out to them. And then you can have resources to further, talk about it. Now, I'm going to finish what Mykenna said here in a second, but while I've got you, some people had posted that September is actually Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And some people in my Patreon just told me that there's actually a new crisis line. 911 is for emergencies, but 988 is for suicide and crisis lifeline. So if you think you or someone you know is having a problem, they can call people. They can talk about it. And I know we generally think that our issues are bigger than that, or that not relatable. But the one thing people always say is when you share your problems with others, you realize you're not alone. And that's got to be really hard for someone in Mykenna's shoes because they're not allowed to talk out loud to people. Now, I know personally leads that were on the show, they've all got group chats with other former leads. They all talk about these types of things and they kind of get by through this camaraderie, this shared PTSD that comes from being a villain or being slut shamed or all these other things that may come from the show. And what is the most egregious thing is that this all happens because audiences overreact. The pendulum always swings past its target. Someone commented this: the ugly truth is being uncovered, but viewers don't understand that this show is a manipulated TV show need to be held accountable by their peers as well. Sliding into contestants' DMs and sharing their opinions isn't necessary at all, and it further extends the suffering. And a lot of times, the way people shame others, and look, we discuss these topics, but I mean, call me out if I'm wrong here. I'm not trying to have anyone canceled. I'm not trying to, Dustin and Pilot Pete from their podcast. I'm not trying to give them mental health problems. I'm discussing issues when I see them and calling people out if I don't like words, whatever. But we're not in people's DMs trying to ruin them. And I hope that you guys, my listeners, aren't doing that either. But people are. So when you say, when this person says peers need to hold each other accountable, we don't know. We don't know who these are. It's always lurking in the DM. So it's hard to know. It's like, if I found out my buddy was messaging, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing with your time? You can't create and consume at the same time. It sounds like you're just like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so let's finish what she had to say.
I talked a lot about it before, and so they've never reached out before until like that moment. And like, luckily I have a really great support system, but like, it's scary to think if someone didn't.
Absolutely.
Are you saying in regards to what Chris Randone said?
Even like that, or just like anyone, or just even myself, or just hearing past people, like, if you don't have that support system, it's really scary to like think about. Like,
just for context, Chris had tweeted that there was 1 or 2 people from the franchise.
We already covered that.
Like, my frustration with the show is just like, it is always going to be all ratings, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what's making the money.
Yeah.
And
it's a TV show, and I understand that.
The thing is, they can do their ratings thing and break off some money for HR, human resources. But they're not treated like employees. They're treated like contestants on a show. It's just that when you go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the audience doesn't follow you afterwards. In this scenario, you've got Mykenna, like a lot of people, who's trying to make a living and money off of her social media, and that's the battle, because there are good days. There are days when the prize is going really well, but then there's days where people have access to you that they just shouldn't have. And the easy thing people might say is, well, you shouldn't just quit all that, this and that. It's like, well, that's not a reasonable response.
That we signed up for that, but I think there definitely needs to be support after the show more so.
For sure. And we talked about this a little bit on the podcast, that like, it seems to have taken a shift at this point where like, I feel at times it's just flat out cruel, where I feel like in the past they did a much better job of like at least protecting their leads. And
okay, so yeah, she got a good point that the show does things that are flat out cruel. And the question will be, as an audience, if we can't change the way the show is, decide to watch it, not watch it, or be a part of a community that stops judging people so hardly. We constantly say this, and then we constantly take it back. Oh, don't judge him so harshly. And then all of a sudden, Logan, people want to slam him online. Oh, don't judge her so harshly. And then all of a sudden, Brendan Moraes slams someone online. Or Demi's old tweets come out, slam her online. It's no one's immune to it when it comes to the show. It's not based on gender. It's we collectively as an audience will tear people apart, and the anonymity that exists around social media makes it really hard to do much about it. But anyway, don't tolerate it is all I can say. And again, 988 I believe was the number, 988. So if anyone there has any friends or family or themselves that need someone to talk to, just dial 988 in the U.S. Otherwise, find out in your local countries. All right, that's going to be it for me. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. I might have some content for you. Follow me on Instagram @DNeils. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.